Ladies and gentlemen, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, welcome back to ETF2L Autumn 2022, where we have made it all the way to the first round of the playoffs here. We've got a whole weekend full of the whole of Prem playoffs, actually. We're going to be starting off with the lower bracket semi-final here between the League of Shadows and CSG, where they'll be playing for the rights to play against the loser of the upper bracket. I think it's the upper bracket final. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's the upper bracket final, where Witness Gaming will be playing against TF2 Easy once again. Now, we've got Samus here on production, running the camera. I've got Dumtum, my boss, here as I try to not get fired.
You better behave. It's
try.
Christmas time. You better watch out, is what they say. And yeah, there should be a fun one here tonight. Like you said, winners finals. Later, we have loser semis now as well. News of this is just out. And I've heard you talk a lot of big words about CSG all season and ability to, become a really good team. Problem is, this is only 4 of them tonight, I think. So we'll see if that's good enough to still come out on top here. League of Shadows, my bad. Maybe CSG can capitalize on the weakness here, I suppose, this way around.
Yeah, because League of Shadows, they will be playing with a couple Mucks instead of Duo. On Aroma, they will be playing with Damul. And instead of Deli, the carry, he has it in his own name when he plays. They have Elicor instead. I think both these players, both Elicor and Dumul are both more than seasoned players. I think if you want to replace a Frenchman with another Frenchman, you have 2 other Frenchies right here. I think Dumul, he has played Prem for a really long time. I don't really think he's been quite, ever a top caliber soldier. He's always been pretty good. I think the same kind of goes for Duo, though. I think what I am more worried about is probably, honestly, Elicor. Elicor is still pretty good at Demo Man, but Deli is such a big X factor for the League of Shadows. They don't have him here tonight. Might be a really big deal for CSG here, who, honestly, going into this, they should be a bit of an underdog, right? Like, we saw the League of Shadows. They played against Witness in their official on land, but online. And it was really close.
Yeah, this could be very interesting to see how this will actually go now for these rosters here. It's gonna be certainly a story of if these marks, as good as they are, can actually work with the roster they're thrown into right now. Certainly the talk earlier was that League of Shadows just kind of had to throw this together last second as well. So it might be a little bit awkward for them here, but you got to perform now or never at all here. Kalis decided you play now, idiot, and they just got to do it.
They just got to do it. CSG are already here ahead of the Venom Crest Pythons, who they did face off against. Really dominant showing on Sunshine, 5-0ing them. Basically cleared them ahead to get into playoffs immediately, wiping any chance for the Venom Crest Pythons to get into playoff. They made it through now. They're in 4th place, looking to punch a little bit above their weights. But now, GLHFs coming out in chat. Both teams are readying up as we head into the lower bracket semi-final of ETF2L Autumn 2022. We also call it ETF2L Season 43 now. Both teams, we're on Metalworks, map number 1 here. Rolling on to middle.
Should be a big one here. Loser is out. The other team, the winner of this, still has a chance to fight their way through loser's bracket into grand finals later through the weekend here. Mid-fight starting off. The bombs coming through the blue team. The soldiers going in on the shadow side, but don't get very far. People runs down early. Do get Condor though. That is a usual kill, but can actually get any wells right now and get themselves out by Judas to park the hand. They're just running under the point with double scout, double man. Brilliant damage by all 3 involved, and that's just gonna do it.
Nice little wipe there on middle, taking down pretty much everyone, actually just everyone on the League of Shadows. However, a kill on to Condor for CSG. They can still take second, but it makes it really hard to actually convert this round into, or it makes it just hard to convert it into a full round, right? They're sitting on second now, but they can't really bust into last because the Ubers are effectively even here. Only 10% advantage for Condor. It's not the end of the world for League of Shadows. Zoe is on Spy, rather, just checking to see if the medic is on crits, for example. Condor can do that in the past. Checking, making sure. Also, potentially for off classes does come up on the sniper. Now, for CSG, they're going to have to figure out a way to sort of try and bust in onto this last point. The sniper, it's a nice little headshot to Charlie. They're going to have to back off for now. Try and set up. The gun for Flick is here as well. The soldier stack tries to come in, but unfortunately just gets completely shut down. Haunts is now dead. 1 down for CSG. They back off the second. Even Ubers, both Uber charges are going to come online as we have a stalemate on last. Metalworks last.
This is a fun one. This it could take a while, but for all it's worth, I mean, they still have time, right? The game just barely started here. I guess for future YouTube audiences as well, or board viewers later down the line as well, we have to point out this is a very early game. It's currently 5 o'clock here. This is before winners finals later tonight as well. We're just getting how it worked out right now, so it might have something to do as well. I should pretty much say here, 2 people not being here just yet. Awkward position for these teams just now, but they got to make it work here, and let's see if they can. We see a DH coming out of pawns, didn't get past the gun last time, so maybe this will work. Nope, it's not working at all.
Yep, there's absolutely nothing. Unfortunately, sticky bombs do a lot of damage, as I think most people that play TF2 have discovered that in the past. There's actually a lot of trades coming in. Elipor, this gets taken down by Yeehor here, but it's still 3 dead for CSG, so they do not want to push forwards. Otherwise, a Demo Man pick would be a huge advantage. Instead, it's a Sniper. A sack in from Rons onto Condog, and just has to pop the Uber. Nice little pipe out of Fancy Elf, but Rons goes down so late, and it gives June a massive advantage. She can just sit back on last, wait for her Demo Man to come up, potentially even wait for Rons to come back up. Huge Uber charge advantage here. See Striker Zoe still up on the Sniper. Now, how do the League of Shadows manage to push forwards here?
Yeah, this is a little bit scary, right? Out of last every single time. Because you just know they're going to be cleaning on at least a force. Traps everywhere. Going to give people some time to actually set up a bomb if they're looking for them. And there we go, Horns forward right onto the Shadow Door, pumping good damage in here. That's just good enough. I think those 3, that's really the only one taking damage. But they don't want to use anyone as in this one.
They only lose Yeehor, and that's completely fine for CSG now. They're stuck around in an alley instead, but no! Teleport the stickies onto Condog means that he just goes down. The Mool on the flank as well does so much damage to CSG, and it's a nightmare push for them. They want to go in off of the Uber ad, but unfortunately, run with a nice little wall shot as well. It's just Fancy Elf left alive. He is going to go down. Yeehor on the Sniper. The only one left to try and salvage something here. Just sitting on second.
This just escalated so quickly. They had like a good position to recall from, but second, one of them died. It just was falling apart for CSG. The second they lost Nikki, it was just game over. Maybe that guy can bring something back here on Sniper. Watching the sideline, he has the medic in side, and there you go. That's all you need. Who cares what the head? The medic has 150 health, and the feed takes 50 damage here. Oh no, you can play this game. Doesn't get close enough. Once again, Nikki saving the day.
Yeah, Nikki just barely finding that kill onto Rons because Condog dropped so very low, but now the body shot onto June means that there's just such a big advantage here for Condog. 60%, it looks like, because the medic is still down, because the soldier's down. CSG, they want to go forwards. Charlie is taking high ground on middle, and it's just one Zoe here to help. Demul on the flank in the meantime, however, has found it onto Horns. Headshot onto Zoe out of Yeehor now. 3 kills for the Sniper here, but League of Shadows, they're back on mid. Condog still doesn't have Uber Charge. Runs, wants to bomb forwards, wants to get this Uber Charge off. It's Demul in! Condog has surfed out the rocket, but the Runs follow-up bomb does so much damage and cleans them up in the end. They want to go forwards, but unfortunately, an Uber Charge advantage only matters when you have 100%. And Condog gets taken down. The soldiers come in. And now, the League of Shadows, they almost lose Flick here in house. They don't quite get it, though. Hemi actually just getting taken down by the SMG here. Yeehor still on the Sniper. Rockets out of Horns as well. Everyone on League of Shadows is sitting in towards house. They have about 80%. They have to be careful with the Sniper here. June, she has to sit far back. But Yeehor now out. They get control back in the middle. They have a giant advantage. 2 frags. They should be looking to push this right back in on to the second point.
Alright, well, it's just gonna go quick, right? They can't really fight back anymore. They have so little life. They can maybe send Soldier Bomb, but you can already tell positioning-wise they are not about that life. They're falling back. They want to stay alive. They want to have even just a chance to have the Oduber before they worry about getting rid of June's here. So setting up a last, it is not even a gun even. It is just the heavy right now, but this might be getting them there. Look at the percentages Condog almost has. And that might just be enough. That testing like anyone. League of Shadows pushing it. Uber right into last here. Quick force of the Condog, but the Captain just wants to handle where they go. This and might at least get the medic out life.
Yeah, June surfing a nice little rocket there out as Flick actually might just get caught out in lobby here. Yeehor and Charlie finding him. Now, sticky bombs out of Ellicor. Finds 2. Yeehor, Horns both taken down. I think that just takes any push out of CSG here. They're going to have to stay back on last. Try to run down the round time a little bit.
I mean, you can't really play the timer just yet. I mean, I guess you could on defense here, but even then, this is a long time to go. This just gives League of Shadows so many chances to do something right now. Nick even with the spy play just to see what's up. But other than that, it's really the NG has to be doing the heavy lifting on defense right now as well. Let's see what comes of it. Alaka used to lock on a little bit this season. I don't think he used it from the beginning, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure anymore, but he's certainly been on it for a little while now. So, Lock and Load Fury coming back again, and I don't know, it didn't work so well for the team maybe this season, but maybe it works tonight, and that's all that matters.
I mean, League of Shadows, if there's any team that isn't a stranger to having a demo mode, it's them, right? They just played the entire of Arcadia land with Zams instead of Delhi. Runs, and Demore both go in, jump down Condon to about half HP, but Sentry Guns, they aim automatically. I think maybe... Nah, I'm not gonna make that joke again. I'm sorry. Sentry Guns, they aim automatically. They completely deny soldiers. It's impossible for them to bomb in. Now, counter bomb might just come in for CSG. They've forced June back into a corner, but it's just Charlie going down immediately with it, and with that Horn's taken down as well. CSG, they abandon the push. They're down 2 soldiers. Looks like League of Shadows, they want to go forwards here. Devilman posturing around main. Ellicor wants to go forwards, but there's sticky bombs in front of him. Trying to peek it still, but Fancy Elf adamant that he should not cross the line.
And there we go, that's the gun spam, that's nice. Amps barely left alive as well at the end, but just having the bombs now too. It's terrifying for the medic, but he should be all fine in the end. They're getting the bombs in finally, shoulder on point, shoulder on the medic. Neither of them getting enough of cap time or damage on the mat to do much of any of this. And there's still a couple of people stuck forward here as well. Flick eating rockets left and right, but coming out on top anyway. Just outclasses the soldiers here. So they still lose in the way at some point, but now you just have to go for the force. Right there, that's the kill.
Flick just runs in 2 shots Condog. He didn't even pop the Uber now. A drop out of him means that Ellicor actually just gets taken down by a vehicle who's barreling forward. She just put the pedal to the metal and then making it happen on second hit, but June crucially gets out alive. Ellicor is only up in about 2 seconds. Runs in 5 here. So the Uber now up for Flick. The Moore just with the counter pressure. They don't even get the second hit. There is a soldier Horns onto June, but he flubs a rocket. There's a demo dead as well. Everyone just falls for CSG. It's gone so horribly wrong here. On a second now, Flick. They don't even have to pop the Uber on second. They're going to walk into lobby, get forwards already. Ellicor now. Sticky bomb comes out. Bomb coming through. Condog has to jump away. Circled so awkwardly. One soldier is in the air, but not onto the point. It's a round on the board for the League of Shadows.
All right, that's the start here. Looking to come back. He had a rough start, I guess, at the beginning, but coming to their own right now on the map. So League of Shadows making it work in just so much chaos at the end, but they crucially got that one medkill to actually just keep going at it after the failed previous last push here. Brilliant stuff out of League of Shadows. The Mercs certainly doing their fair share of heavy lifting for this match right now. So players well picked up your last second for this match. We'll see. There's still a lot of game left to go, even just for map 1. We'll see how it goes last fight. They went for quick soldier bombs early. Now once again, the Frenchies impact bad as thrown, and Bronze lands on the medic. And later, there is no medic no more.
No Condor for CSG means that they only really have one option, probably, just to go forwards. Their health pool is just so much more limited. Instead, they're going to try to opt for this cap, get everyone on the point, get the capture, get Condor on that forward spawn with Charlie as well. But they just get the cap, they run away. They know they can't really fight this at all, and it gives June once again. She's such a big advantage here coming in onto second. Condog, yes, he gets the forward spawn, allows them a setup on second, but what do you realistically do against an Uber charge advantage is this big? They can sit on second, but they have to get the Uber pop out pretty much immediately. See how close Charlie's just holding to a house here. But the rest of League of Shadows, they just pop right through. It's an Ellicor straight into lobby. So much damage into Ams. He's actually not taken down. Finally, 1 kill into Ams, 2 kill into Horns, Yeehaw, and Charlie. They all fall as well. It's just 2 left alive. Condog and his demo man. Second is captured, but you can see how many League of Shadows members already trying to get in through last. Fancy has to do everything on his own for about 5 seconds because the rest of his team is not there. The bombs are just coming forwards here. Fancy so low, and he cannot hold the point. There's 1 soldier standing on it now. The forward spawns do come forwards. They're blocking runs, and everyone else just runs away. Unfortunately, the League of Shadows, they're not able to get the cap on second in time. The forward spawns come out of CSG. They hold on for now.
Demul jumpscare and lower, that's a kill right there. Ams goes down. I don't think he can do much more of that, but it's just less people to do anything in second, but they already don't have heals, and now they have 2 down. Other than that, not gonna happen here. Well played by League of Shadows, getting 2 last at least. There was a double flank attempt trying to get behind them, but they just had to sort of watch it really nicely there, and I think it was Rons took them out early. Gave them those kills to get into last, but yeah, they were just too slow. No captain for so long on second, only times 1, I believe it was the soldier of Rons staying back on second to cap it up, but they just needed to be a little bit faster here in the end. And they don't have that much of a consolation prize this time either, right? Previously we've seen them get a med kill out of nowhere. This time round, it's not really happening. Have barely an advantage at all. They might still try, but it's not going to be a very safe attempt to make here, especially not with gun and sniper waiting on the other side right now. And they know about the sniper at least, and you have to expect it if you're a gun. So how do you approach this with 10 ad?
I think they're just going to take an Uber and straight through main here. It's just Ellicor shooting stickies across onto the point. They're trying to get the sentry gun down, and they finally do get it. Now, the counter Uber is coming out, and it's 2 kills here on Tyrons and Flick. Charlie shoots up June into the air and just gets the fall down rocket onto June as well. It's actually almost in a complete right, but in the meantime, Demor's just in on last. Condog with the emergency arrow onto Demor. There we go, the delayed wipe onto the League of Shadows as finally CSG take back a little bit of control here.
Understandable one there. That was a pain train moment if I've ever seen one. But
yep.
No heads up play for that one here. Just still on the normal loadout to try to survive the previous fight before that. And just much later towards the CSG is going to win that instead. But now there's still no demo enough. It is Ron Sventing though. The bombs are coming through. Right on the medic lands on the head of Condor. No chance to survive. Perfect stuff by the bombs.
Yeah, that was really nice out of Charlie here. There's actually such a chaotic fight on mid, though. Everyone just kind of going to the respawn queue. Now just Ellicor left alive. One decent pipe onto the scout. It's going to have to be careful because there's just so many more members. The second pipe, the miracle pipe, does not come out onto Yeehor. In the end, it's a cleanup for CSG. Both medics spawning evenly here, but it's Tamul in a valley already. It looks like the League of Shadows, they don't want to give this up. They're already coming through back onto the middle here. Fancy Elf is not with his team, so the bronze bomb just finds him for free. Finally, a kill return onto him, but no, Demo Man for CSG means that they just have to give up mid here. They don't have the space. It's another kill into the League of Shadows here, and they just barrel forwards. They take control of middle. They also probably just want to take second off of the demo kill.
They very well might, right? You have a second kill on top of that too, so this is just prime time to get going. This is barely an ad for Condor. They can't play around that on CSG at all. They gotta respect the option of just 5 people running in on them. Fancy will spawn just now, but they're in on the point a lot faster than that, and all the damage Demo could have done here is just kind of wasted already. Lots of total damage coming forward for Charlie, and a lot of damage already. They're just not getting space. No. Alec is stuck on the wall, cannot get out.
Surely he doesn't drop to this. Nope, never pops the goes. As Demur, unfortunately, just barely doesn't get the second rocket onto Condog. He lives, and now 2 down here for the League of Shadows means that they can't really control middle. They're all the way back into their house, even Unis, but no Demo Man, no Soldier. They're just back on their own second.
Alright, we'll see if they can stabilize from here. 1 down, but spawning immediately. That should be fine for League of Shadows, but it's been a minute since we've seen CSG really in the driver's seat now as well. Right, the past few minutes just been on their own last pretty much. A bit of time to pace now, see what they really have in store for us offensively. We know they are capable of these things, and they like the double scout exchanges if they can, but this is a long distance to cover before they get to June at all, so I don't think that's going to be quite the option just now.
It looks like maybe they just want to send in Charlie through Alley here, but instead the bomb is going to come out directly onto Condog out of Demul there. He does get taken down, but that falls onto Condog so big. On the flank in the meantime in house as well, Haunch just gets taken down, so now 1 soldier down, no Uber charge for CSG. They have to run with their tail between their legs. They're on the middle already. League of Shadows looking to just take this through house. They do not want to pop this Uber into middle at all. They want to take it all the way as far as they can go, and it looks like they're electing Valley to do it.
On him. Oh, you know, he just undershoots it so much. Expected the medic to be so much more forward. Not gonna happen.
No, come
on. Never mind. What? You can play that game. So the one on the other side will work out perfectly for the League of Shadows. Getting 3 kills total here, losing a couple people for that might be fine. Still have to worry though. There's people everywhere around them.
Yeehor is doing so much work running in behind there. Forces the League of Shadows to come back onto second instead of just in onto the enemy second. It's actually Yeehor and Haunt. He's still alive running around on second. The pack now somehow finally gets taken down, but combining with Haunts, they're getting the force onto June makes it such a huge play out of Yeehor, keeping CSG in this only 1 round down. 13 minutes on the clock rather. Charlie comes in. It's a trade kill onto Halter as well. The soldier bombs are coming across. They just get Condor once again. He's not able to play the game at all here on mid, even on this Metalworks map. Ellicor is just taken down by Am, but it's going to be the only one. Fancy Elf and Yeehor. The only 2 players left on CSG. Yeehor just cleaned up by Flick, and the fight goes the League of Shadows way anyway.
Massive fight here in the end, but once again, the second escalates like this, League of Shadows eventually does just always come out on top somehow, barely clutching out these fights. And that goes a long distance as well, because like you said, Condor just cannot survive them specifically. And you can lose these fights all you want, as long as you can stabilize afterwards. It's fine at least, but there is nothing to stabilize for. They have to give up so much ground right now. And even in the end, it's second Uber adding the last how quick this is going for the League of Shadows. Have to wait for the last few spawners to team up with them again, but we've seen it before. They can't do this. They just gotta get the buffs up and get going.
I mean, they have such a big advantage here. They have to focus down at the sentry gun, however. I don't think they quite spotted it. There we go. The sentry gun out of Amps is so much work denying Flick there. He just gets bounced up into the air, but there's not really any points present for CSG. Charlie has the vomit from the low ground. Zoe's on it, and he almost gets the capture, but finally the Uber comes out of Condog. 1 kill onto Elikor, but look at this. There's a Demul hiding. No one's going behind for him. They haven't found him. Demul is just in onto the point, and he grabs around from under CSG's noses. It's 2-0 now for the League of Shadows.
It is just that easy. There we go. Doesn't play a game all season. Just comes in for this one, and you know what? He still got it. Was there ever any doubt? Very easy for the Bull, and suddenly this is just looking very bad for CSG. This has not been really a slow game, but like I said, all these long fights keep getting ahead on the side of League of Shadows, and if that's not going to do it, how are they breaking these fights up into a way that they can actually win them now?
It's so difficult for them now, right? They definitely are on the back foot. They are a newer team as well. I wonder if we see some mental resilience from them here. This time around on middle, starting out pretty well. The soldier bombs go in the favor of CSG. They get 2 early frags, and it means that the League of Shadows, they just run right back out. But crucially, June very much still alive. Actually doesn't have that much Uber charge, but Am just gets taken down. A bomb in from Paul. Once again in onto Elikor. Hits a nice little juggle rocket, but actually might have just saved his life instead. Out of the sticky bombs of Fancy Elf. Now, the crits came out of Condog and found absolutely nothing. Instead, June, 100% Uber charge as they walk forwards onto second, looking to take the fight. But instead, the collapse comes forwards from the red soldiers, rather, as they're both cleaned up. They get the force, but it allows the rest of CSG to walk back. Condog is still on crits. They have to watch out for these crit stickies.
I mean, this is just a very deliberate decision to play this, right? Demol going so fast that she's on the line. I was about to say they gladly take not having an Uber anymore to push against 4 on the midpoint, but this is just one pushing into mid against 4 and coming out victorious. Demol is not here to lose a game. He wants to win. Doesn't matter how much he played for this team yet. He does not lose these.
Demol just stepping up a big time, honestly. Playing so well, finding these medic picks, finding that round just a second ago as well. The heads up back capped play. Now, he's given his team a golden ticket to the enemy last once again. Huge Uber disadvantage here for Condor. He's actually just sticking on the crits as Yeeho's on sniper. But June almost has Uber charge. This crits is only 50%. If the crits comes out, it's going to come out after an Uber charge. That goes horribly wrong. It's going to be a cleanup crits. I wonder if it's going to be good enough here. The Uber just comes straight in onto Flick. The sentry gun once again is just finally going to get taken down. Now the bomb comes in out of runs. There's a lot of damage with the cap time. They have to be worried. Actually, not that much, but Demul just finds the kill onto Condog. Everyone goes down on pretty much both sides. Demul and Under does not get the kill onto Haunts. It's 3 alive for CSG still, but everyone goes down for the side of the League of Shadows. Complete wipe there as CSG, they take back their second.
I was watching that from Alex's perspective, and the focus fire was just non-existent. He kind of wanted the heavy, and then he sees everyone's going for the right for the other classes. So he switches target, then he switches back to the heavy again. It's just, no one's shooting the same thing for more than like half a second straight. One shot each every time, and just no one's dying because of it. CSG just tanked it up, and as weak as they might have been, everyone's alive at the end pretty much. And League of Shadows just bungling it by a bit of bad decision making. Will cost them badly here. Of course, they're still in the lead, right? They're not in the worst positions, but I need more points on the board right now. Even if we don't get to the final 5th round in the end, it's just making it so much harder for CSG to come back. Now they have a slip of a chance here, even if it still all hinges on the fancy crit streak.
Yeah, this crit streak is going to have to do something a little bit more than it has done in the past. It's just a soldier, though. Runs, almost just catches him out on the flank there. Now, the Uber charge is up for June, so she should be able to respond if the stickies are called appropriately. And instead, actually, CSG just elect to back off. The damage on to Fancy means that it's so much harder for him to actually get in, so much harder for him to actually do damage. They back off out of house. League of Shadows are respecting this crits a lot. They're not pushing. They're up 2-0. About 8 minutes left on the round timer. They know it's in CSG's prerogative to push. The ball very much in their court. And they just stick around in-house with this supercharge advantage.
Yeah, they just need to see them coming and react to it first, mostly the second someone tries to push up against them here. And you just are in such an unusable position in most circumstances that that's probably just the right play to make at this point here. So, like you said, all is in CSG's court, but I think they're running out of patience here. They just want to make a move as well, see what they can catch. On's going down as a start. If they find the soldier here as well, that's going to be Charlie going down.
The crit out of Fancy
out.
Gets a kill. There we go. 3 of them for Fancy, actually. Elikor taken down as well. There's a 4K for Fancy. It's the cleanup stickies. They come forwards into lobby. He finds so many. And League of Shadows, they have to run for the hills there. Flick and June. But crucially, it is Flick and June. Ubercharge still up for June. She probably has a counter before the next one here.
I really want to be optimistic for CSG and say nice trades, but at the same time, what really was the reason League of Shadows used that to begin with, right? Like, they caught the soldiers barely, and then what? We just kind of were left with nothing to do anymore, and they just also couldn't get out of time. Metalworks just stuck on the floor. Certainly, you need to capitalize when your opponent bungles, but League of Shadows certainly threw that quite a little bit as well here as well, and the throwing doesn't end just yet. Nicky here with another nice kill as well. Thorn's getting waited for just a little bit, might at least get out, but already players down, and there comes the Crispy against attempts at another snipe. That one, once again, just will not work.
It just unfortunately doesn't find anything once again. Now, Am's running in, actually. So much damage. This fight is so weird. It feels like CSG randomly decided they want to go back in. They lose to their Demoman and Ams. Now, it's just Haunts and Condor stuck in enemy alley here. It's actually 1 kill from Haunt, but the juggle out of Demul sends him up. Haunt still wins the 1v1, but Condor is still stuck in alley. It's another kill to Elikor. Somehow Charlie actually finding so much damage here. June has to be so careful because Yeehor's running forward now. Charlie, that he wants to go in. So much damage is coming across. Ams is almost there to support his teammate. They want to take this fight, but the Rockets out of run. They clean him up, and unfortunately CSG, they saw a ray of hope, a ray of sunshine on this dark, dusty map, and they do not get anything for it. The crit is still their only hope.
And that's kind of weird. They're still going for these snipes, and this just has not been working. Fancy goes down late. He should have just been in on the bomb where everyone else was trying to get Drew. Now he's sitting here with big advantage. Who cares how much crits he have? As long as they just played a tiny bit better than the previous one we've seen against the crits. So this will be going fine. Even if it doesn't, there is a lot of distance to cover to get around right now. They're finding their opponents back on second with only 5 minutes left to get at least 2 rounds to drag this to overtime. This is a lot to ask for the CSG right now. They're still just on the receiving end. There's the tablet flag. They spotted so
it's
quickly, no chance.
It's an Amscript onto lower, does find 1 kill onto Striker here, but does he find anything more? No, because the counter comes out, and it's just better for League of Shadows. Condor and Fancy all taken down. Is it better? 1 kill onto Demul and Elikor. Actually, Charlie kind of turning this around. It's so much damage here in the enemy lobby as they're just taking this fight, but instead of taking a coordinated one, it's just Ams and Yeehor both taking turns to try and out-DM Flick, but he's played too much MGE. 9 kill streak for him. He captures second with June, builds up the Uber charge. Condor now is on the back foot, on his own last. He's still just on crits.
This is a man who wants to do better than a ban, right? They've not been doing as well as they wanted to last weekend, and they just want to come out on top again this time around. But now they're doing a pretty good job at it, so not bad at all here. CSG just running out of options at this point. At this rate, they just have to make worse and worse plays because time is not allowing them to set up for better ones. Once again, stuck in a crit streak, but League of Shadows barely even needs to push this right now.
They really don't have to. They can just run down the clock for just a couple minutes longer. As CSG, they need to round 2 rounds in 2.5 minutes each, basically. They have 4 minutes left. The crits is actually just going to come out, but his run's just going forwards. He doesn't care about the crits if it doesn't do any damage to him. He just gets the kill onto Condor. Now, no medic. 1 soldier down for League of Shadows, but they're still, you can see they're pushing it, but they're taking their sweet time. And finally going into lobby, no medic for the enemy team. Yeehor on Sniper's going to have to hit a miracle, but Haunts is dead as well. Now the stickies come forward out of Elikor. On to the point here is Flick, as Fancy Elf is just taking down. Now, Zoe dead as well. It's a Devilman sitting on the low ground here, and the heavy out of Am does a lot of work to try and deny the enemy. But where is the push coming out? 3.5 minutes left on the round timer. Demul could just sit and spam as long as June doesn't go down. It's still just League of Shadows running away with this. Yes, the push fails, but they can still just sit back and wait. It's pretty much the nail in the coffin either way. I don't think CSG just have time for another round anymore.
Yeah, it's just running away from them right now. They gotta push out of here, and they don't even have Uber yet, let alone still being on Kritsky for that matter. It's just making matters worse and worse right now. Time is of the essence. The Shadows prey on, looking at the bombs are coming through, getting Charlie already, Doubleman on the beam, getting denied pretty badly here as well. Phantom's alive, but they're just pushing the rest of the team on the left side.
Oh no.
Oh, Echo hits that one to Amps as well, just a jump.
The crits is still there.
Yeah, well, not really.
Yep, and an charge. Well, fortunately for Condog, he just gets taken down here. It's such a weird fight now because everyone just gets taken down as League of Shadows repush. They make it 3-0. They take the first map. 3.5 minutes left. CSG cannot come back. Mathematically impossible as League of Shadows, they take map 1. It was kind of close, but it felt like every single time there was a chaos fight, both teams opt into the chaos. It's just League of Shadows coming ahead every single time.
Yeah, League of Shadows controlling the chaos here once and fall for map 1. Gonna get the win on Metalworks. Still a little bit of time left to be played here, but I'm sure both teams understand the assignment at this point. It is pretty much game over here. It's just hoping for the best. Nice bombs, I suppose, at a pawn. Gets the medic early, but you can play that game. You get a Condog as well. Fight for survival, but 60 might just be coming out on top.
Yeah, it looks like they take the copium mid-victory here. Is the only mid-fight of the game that doesn't really matter at all. They finally take the win. GG's now in chat. As I am honestly... I don't feel like I'm too surprised. Honestly, everyone on League of Shadows that played well should play well, and they did. It feels like they were just able to kind of outmaneuver CSG. CSG felt like they made a bunch of crucial mistakes, and the League of Shadows were able to punish them, which is pretty much what you want to see out of a team. You know, like they did everything they probably should have. They're up 3-0. They're not taking it too crazy here. The refight's going in their favor now. They're just kind of losing the copium fights, but not really, because
they're kind of losing the lines, I think, at this point.
Yep. So,
bomb Charlie. Wait, hold up. Can you hit that?
Oh, no.
No. Okay, well. He tried.
Now, Dum Tum, we just saw this map happen, and there is about 1.5 minutes left, so we can talk about whatever we want now. Up next, Dum Tum, is Sunshine. Yes. On Sunshine, given the fact that this map, we've seen Elacor be pretty good, we've seen Flick scout diff AMS, which is a sentence I never thought I would say in my entire life. Elacor performing really well as well. How much hope do we now have for CSG coming into map number 2?
I don't know. I mean, it's their map pick, but I don't think it will matter that much, to be honest. It's looking really good, right? Because like they need to fundamentally change how they play the game right now, I think, right? Obviously, crit kick or not, I don't think would have changed all too much in the end. It's just how they wanted to approach the game. Other than that, with these messy fights and all that, that really just did not do them any favors. So they got to change gears significantly on CSG to really bring out a victory here. And I don't know if that can happen this quickly. I mean, they're a very capable team, of course, but this is still quite a lot to ask for. Meanwhile, League of Shadows just looking like a much better whole, despite Sub and Merc here tonight works out just fine. If this is what they can do without the full lineup, then on the way to losers finals, maybe they have a fighting chance against whoever they might fight up over there.
I think overall, Logs, we got them on screen now. I don't really think they tell you too much. I think the most important thing to bring attention to is how Konnok has almost 10 more deaths than June has. He had a really hard time playing the game, just period.
Yes.
Everyone on the League of Shadows, especially Demul, was just all over him every chance he got. Konnok, it just felt like he couldn't really do much. He tried to make the crits happen as well, but unfortunately when you're crits, you don't have the out of just popping an uber charge. Instead, he just got caught out so many times. I think the aggression, you can see where it stems from, right? Hams and Konnok is such a duo, and I think like Konnok is the only medic that could play with Am's scout. The way that Am's wants you to keep barreling forwards.
Well,
League of Shadows are just
maybe there are
punishing
some capable
so
medics
well.
for that. Some were stuck in lower diffs, not quite good enough yet. But he needs someone right here, right now, and Konnok is certainly the best medic he can ask for the playstyle this team needs. But this playstyle just needs a little bit more refining, it looks like, right? It's not been bad this season, but it's just a step behind League of Shadows still, who I mean, we've seen them last season, right? They came out to clutch third, and they're on route to a very competent third place at bare minimum so far, right? So props to them. They're playing really well here. Demul, Zamul, the GOAT, whatever, he's back and he's performing really well as well. Romanox, whatever, who cares? It's just those 15 kills had matter of impact. More than a negative KD might suggest sometimes, so we can't look at the deaths too much there. It's the kills that matter here, and they were very good. And that's all that counts in the end here. Real good stuff by him, real good stuff by Elaku. Of course, he had a rough season with his team, but they won the French matchup. He's winning this one right now. Looking really good for the end of the season for him, at least.
Yeah, it's a good showing. Actually, I want to give a quick shout out to Rons, because I just went down and looked at who killed Condog the most, and it's actually Rons. We're talking about Demul. He only had 3 medic kills because Rons had 8 medic frags.
I mean, sometimes you just
That's a lot.
Sometimes you're just all over someone, you know?
Yeah. Rons does not want Condog to have fun playing a game. I don't think Rons wants pretty much anyone to have fun playing a game.
Have you seen him play at LAN? Yeah, that's the tracks. Yeah. This man just wants to play Guitar Hero in peace, and they don't let him.
No. Rons sits there with his Guitar Hero setup and yells a lot. He was very... at LAN, I've never seen, like, even in, like, the group stages against Mac, he was fired up.
That entire right side, like that entire front row right side of the venue was just the loudest thing of all time. You had League of Shadows, Mac's team, and fucking Steven's team all next to each other.
Yeah, it was by far the loudest corner of the venue. I think my favorite moment from all of LAN, I didn't even get to watch it because unfortunately I was casting at the time, but when Big Bloke LAN were playing against Word Das Least is Doof, I think, the Germans.
Close enough.
Every time that they would get a kill onto Shocky, Pickles would scream, "Let's go Epsilon," across the venue so Shocky could hear it. And
they did.
Yeah, and they did. It was amazing. Shoutouts to Big Bloke LAN. They're not playing. I think Condog might be doing his best Pickles impression because Pickles ran almost permacrits.
The difference is that Pickles got third.
He did get third.
They're not doing that right now. Something needs to change.
Something does need to change. Do you think Sunshine is a map that allows for a permacrits?
I'm not like a permacrits cracker like some other people in the audience here, so I don't think I'm the most qualified to answer this, but you know, if you just know what you're doing, it's certainly... It can easily look better than what we've seen just now, is what I'm saying here. Yep. You can go for some snipes, I suppose, but a lot of the time you just need to go for the kills that are closest to you and just make sure that whenever they do use, you have like 2 free kills already.
I think crits on a map like Sunshine could work. My only problem is that like you get 1 crit sticky, right? Like because the map is so long, you have to charge up the crit sticky, and it takes so long to fly. Like if you're looking at a crit sticky come through choke, you have to like deliberately troll your man and not tell him the sticky is coming for the crit sticky.
See, this is the mind game though, right? Half of everyone that went to LAN is sick right now. So you just hope that includes June and the reaction times are just down the drain. Clearly that hasn't been the case.
Yep, clearly not the case in the League of Shadows. They took map 1 3-0. Now we are on to map 2 of the ETF2L Season 43 lower bracket semi-final here, as both League of Shadows and CSG, they play for their tournament lives here, for their playoff dreams. And so far this mid, it's a very chaotic one because it seems like no one gets to survive. 2 players up for both teams, but one side has a scout. Demul not quite hitting the rockets there onto Yeehor, gets that kill. Rons wants to bomb in onto Fancy. He just gets piped though and cleaned up by Yeehor. He gets himself a 3K. It's a middle victory for CSG.
Beautiful stuff on the soldiers. Charlie Horn's doing a great job there early on to get the bombs in the... They banked it all on just aggressive play working here. They just about got away with it. Once again, Condor dies, but a death like this is much more worth it than anything we've seen out of the previous map here. This is a death attached with everyone going down to the shadows. A tiny advantage as well. I don't know where they are that one, but it should at least be in their minds right now that this is an opportunity to take here right now, to bring this one to a lead somewhat close. And there we go. Horns goes in early, crashes the story, gets the damage onto Demons, but you should crack that for an arrow. That arrow will not come. Second bomb comes through by Horns as well. Or Charlie even, sorry, does not quite survive that, unfortunately. Now that it's running out of steam, but they're also getting so much space already.
They're getting so much space in the League of Shadows. They have to run back here. It's a pretty big ad for Condog as well. Back on the Uber blasphemy, I should say. as now he has so much HP, but he's not really willing to push forwards. I don't think they realize how big of an advantage they actually did have. Now 90% on June as well. She's going to get that right up, and Haunts instead is going to try to go in for maybe a little bit of a sack here, coming in onto the point, but the heavy does a lot of work denying him. Gets the Sentry Gun kill. Soldier for Sentry is the biggest, the best sack in all of TF2.
Well, it's still a little bit worried, but Demo's very weak, finally gets his arrow as well. You never know if there's a double bomb coming through. There is Charlie, just hits him with it. Beautiful stuff, gets the bad kill. See you later, June. And that's all they need to. They don't wait for spawns either. They just go straight in. Gun goes down, play on point, have to come their way. They're invincible, good luck.
Such a big
never mind,
play here. Such a huge headshot play from Charlie, but the push, it's going not in their favor. The heavy just doesn't get taken down. Demul and Zoe as well just clean up house. Now Charlie is going to take a little bit of buff. What are you going to do against a fully buffed heavy here? The soldier denies him as well. Now Ron Zellico back up. As instead, it's actually even Ubers. That sack in was so nice from Charlie, the rocket onto June.
I love quick pushes of plays like this as well usually, but they were still too slow to actually catch anyone before they got back to spawn. Everyone just got away. Didn't die really at all, and League of Shadows just alive afterwards froze out the heavy, and they could not handle it with only 5 alive, so it works out for the blue team here holding on. This is not good enough to win in the end, technically get a last, so they're not out of rewards just yet, but looks like they're not straight up the dark here. Oh, never mind. They're actually just winning.
Tamur finds Kondog with 97%. Does not quite have it. I was about to talk about how in their matchup only a few days ago versus the Random Crest Pythons, CSG played a very close game versus them on Gully Wash, but it was after a dominant 15-minute 5-0 on Sunshine. They looked so comfortable on this map this time around. It feels like they're probably just playing against a different class of opponent here on Sunshine, as they are just able once again to catch out Kondog. Yes, they get the drop, but the rocket onto Ams out of bronze is so very big. It denies him completely now. Kondog doesn't have Uber at all. They've run back out onto a middle. June has 100%, and it's looking so very nice for blue team.
This is exactly what they're looking for right now here once again. I mean, this is what happened last time too. A little bit of a rough start, a little bit of a sketchy mid fight, but it's just unlocked now. There's nothing to worry about. Fang is pushing aggressively, but it's enough. Oh, Kondog with the snipe of a lifetime.
Kondog, nice little bow on to June. She actually drops the Uber to the bow as well. Huge stuff from Kondog now. He doesn't even get a sword. Doesn't matter because they just wipe him. Kondog, he was sitting in a giant disad, has a huge advantage. That arrow is so big. I actually don't think they can push this. They're also 3 down themselves onto CSG. They're going to have to wait for their spawners here. It allows time for the League of Shadows to set up with a sentry gun, with a sniper on to flick. But League of Shadows, they're on the back foot right now. Giant advantage here for CSG.
All they have is the NG and the sniper. No scouts on the field anymore on League of Shadows. This has to somehow do it here. But is it enough? Setting up the push from the right. It looks like buffing everyone up. They just want max health. They want to give them no chance at all to get any kills right now. But is that enough? Actually rotating back to the left for this one. Rush the soldier standing at lower. Do get the gun quick as well, but no kills just yet. Demon escapes, going back to spawn. Captain barely there, but it still forces people out. They have enough time to react. The heavy's doing the work here again. Zoe eventually focused down. Fancy gets 2 for that one, actually. Enough. There we go. Takes my Fancy the point. I think so much is lasted, but there's still a lot more to do.
Fancy does so much damage with his stickies and his pipes. He cleans up pretty much everyone on the League of Shadows 1 by 1. The bomb onto the heavy. I thought, honestly, it wasn't looking too solid, especially with Charlie just bombing in onto the heavy, but thankfully his team was there to follow it up. They grab the heavy's attention, take him down, and off of that, they've managed to barrel forwards. Now they're up 1 round with 24 minutes left to go here on map number 2. League of Shadows looking a little bit more on the back foot. CSG just seem a little bit more confident.
Yeah, this is exactly what we needed as well. Just some miracle plays from Kondog. And suddenly they're back in it as well. This is the lead they were looking for, but can they hold on to it? The last mid fight was a really close one here. Let's see how it goes this time around. Player behind Horns taking their attention a little bit, but it's the rest of the team that needs to make a play of this. Here comes bombs finally coming through. They get electric early. Everyone's pretty weak on red, but they're not dying just yet. Evil gets 1, Horns finds him second, but there we go. Horns finally out of the back and coming to big damage. Can't actually find the kill, or they're hanging on for dear life.
It is just a scout player's dream right now as Yeehaw gets to hit a couple nice, easy shots. Flick is down to 6 HP. Actually managed to get the pack, but the rocket onto Zoe there from Charlie means they can just run right back in. The damage. The blue scouts are just not healthy enough. Condog wants one of his own. Another bow kill onto Flick.
This would be prime time to make crossbow video game references, but I can't remember any single video game that uses crossbows prominently, so chat, give me some
There is a crossbow in Skyrim, and I believe it is not very good.
I don't remember that at all.
There's also one in Minecraft.
That is true.
I never used it.
Yeah, that's
I don't know where it is. Demul, they don't know where he is either. Just bombing in behind on the second, but look at the immediate response from all of CSG. They do not want this man in on Condog once again. It's now one kill onto Demul here. As CSG, they're now taking Bobby. They have a big advantage. Zoe onto the sniper here. Doesn't get any headshot. Instead, now it's a second cap coming out here. But CSG, they haven't found any kills. Once again, it's just one frag onto Rons here. Elikor drops down so very low. Gets taken down. Heavy is now up for the lead. Shadows. Can he shoot everywhere at once? So difficult. The Uber charge comes out of June. A kill onto Fancy means that the rest of CSG, they have to walk back. Ams tries to take a fight with Demul, but he lives just barely on 1 HP. Flick running into the second here. There's no CSG members to hold him back anymore. CSG actually sitting in Cafe. Yeehaw wants. They want to get aggressive.
They're thinking about it. They have been bad. You might just want to wait for that instead. It looks like they're making the choice finally. It's safer to just get 6 up and get a full Uber. Go from there here as well. And see what they can do with invincibility here. As much as Condor wants to play combat medic, maybe there's a time and place for all of this. It's been working pretty well so far, I guess. Gives hope to a lot of puppers out there, I suppose. But sometimes you just need Uber charge. Right now, there it is, coming through, getting Zoe already. Anything else? And wrap around. Oh no, this is not good enough. The soldier there would be huge, but the scout is just not doing it.
Instead, it is just CSG feeling themselves now. Everyone just having such a better game. Elikor, nice little snipe kill onto the enemy. Now the Uber comes out onto Flick. There's no one here for CSG who's able to deal with an Ubered scout who just does so much damage. Elikor now taken down as finally the refight comes out. CSG, Charlie, he's trying to take the fight with Flick. He's doing decent damage from hitting some nice rockets, but doesn't find the frag. Instead, Hams, don't run forwards, man. Just don't do it. Run back. Find the rest of your team.
Oh, both scouts again. That is so much damage he just took trying to leave as well. But he's hanging in there. I mean, they need anyone they can get right now. This is looking rough after this last fight as well. Mid should be fighting blue here. They're still fighting back a little bit, but it looks like they're finally having to realize this point is a lost cause. They have added as well. You can't find the bomb. What are you trying to get it? Peeking in from choke, you're just risking even more lives. Don't want to give them second for free as well. They barely have a lead. They can't just give it up like that. So falling back a little bit, building as much as they can, but same obviously going for League of Shadows. About to push already. Let's see what the League can do here.
They're just looking to take it through Cafe. A CSG, they're technically on second, but they are so far back on their own balcony, they really cannot deny that much. Instead, Rons gifts himself a frag on just straight onto Fancy here. Charlie bombs in, gets the Uber Force, and the counter pop comes in onto Ams. It's just a couple scout solos here, but June tries to sub it out through choke. Ams doesn't quite hit the shots. June, she ADs around, and Ams doesn't click on her perfectly. Instead, now Flick is just taken down, but it's a kill onto Yeehaw. It's a kill onto Fancy. No Demo Man means that somehow June miraculously survives. Everyone on CSG goes down. Beef in my chat right now as Ams just does not find the shots.
Beautiful stuff for Zoe. So juggled across the walls there at Flowers, but stays alive, gets the kill on the soldier hanging in, and that's gonna get them there finally another chance at last. They need to really convert these right now. This is not a great advantage to do this with as well. It's gonna be a tough nut to crack here, but let's see if they can do it. Maybe here gun getting set up too. I don't know if they're even gonna go with the little advantage to do with the kill now, however, maybe. I mean, Charlie going down is certainly a nice option to play off.
Rons and Demul both attempt to keep second.
No,
but Sentry Gun is a Sentry Gun, and unfortunately they do not go in. Now it's taken down though. Taunts down as well, so the counter-attack once again will just come forward here for the League of Shadows. They take the high ground. It's one Flick playing onto the point. It's so many kills. Condog, he doesn't pop. He's 7, but there's no one on the point. Okay, finally gets cleaned up. So many resources, and Condog just barely pops in the end to try and get onto that point. They sack in 4, and they manage just barely to get the force out onto Condog. Balls of steel, of titanium holding it on there.
I mean, it looks really nice. Gets the second point as well, but now what, right? Now suddenly we're here. He was still used in the end on the Condor. It still has 100% right now. This is exactly the advantage we're looking for as well. Sometimes these Uber pushes just take 2 tries to work on that. This is try number 2. This time around looks a lot more doable here. Still have a gun to worry about and a heavy for that matter, but they're getting in on that. It's fairly late, but like barely any help will get taken down pretty early because Casualty, despite their visibility, they're just leading numbers with the soldiers behind him. Perfect position by Ants and over Charlie Horns, not letting them get out of here. That is just clean up from here. This is just a merciless execution at this point.
Yeah, this push, absolute big fail. Unfortunately, you don't get anything fancy. Almost finds that kill onto Elacor as well here on mid, as now Condor has a giant advantage. He's sitting up in choke already, looking to just push through Cafe here. League of Shadows, they cannot contest mid at all. Have to walk back into their own choke point. It makes it so difficult for them to even get anything done here. June is sitting at about 50%. If they can potentially slow CSG down just a little bit on second, get back to last, June could potentially have the Uber charge should Condor come knocking on their last. But it's now CSG sitting in Cafe. They're looking to go forward, but now June is 80%. Almost a kill onto the move, but he does barely get out alive. And so instead, League of Shadows, they managed to all get out pretty much. Maybe a kill onto Ron's his. The Uber comes out of Condog as they just running through low with their Demo Man. But actually, Flick, he's blocking the second capture. And with this, CSG, they can't go forward. The counter Uber comes out. It's a weird fight in Dungeon here. It's fighting everywhere pretty much. Flick and Zoe both get taken down though. Actually, no, Flick, he's still alive and Zoe taken down. Everyone's on his balcony right now. Elacor taken down, look like as well. Everyone on CSG, they're winning the 1v1s. They get the second cap. There's no one on last. Ron's is the only spawner. This is such a chaotic fight. There's only one roamer and Demul to try and block this. Flick wants to run back to last, but he's just not there in time. What did I just watch?
How are they doing this? Just a few minutes ago, we've been on the other last. A really good position for League of Shadows, and in no time at all, this just went for a complete change of pace. And CSG have another round on the board. 2-0 up. I was worried about this working out for them, but looks like they're finding the groove a little bit here right now. Maybe it's just not too late to make the comeback happen.
Maybe this is what they need to take us to a map number 3. Up 2-0, this time on the middle. Runs is going to have to deal with Demul just taken down immediately. Flick runs in onto Ams, but unfortunately, they're not able to find the kill to Condor, who's somehow still alive. 20 HP in his own valley. I have no idea how he got that, to be completely honest. I was so focused on everyone in Tetris, that tiny little area. No one on the League of Shadows able to clean up. Now, a medic up for both teams. It's June who has the advantage, but Condor has the players. CSG, they take control of middle. They're looking to maybe, honestly, take control of second. League of Shadows are just about there to hold it now.
This is such a difference maker though. Condor just wasn't living these fights previously as well. Just his team couldn't protect him like this map one. Now, quick change of pace here. They finally keep Condor alive a lot more than before, but also lose one early and maybe League of Shadows just fight back. They can't have this, so let come last, but they need this round sooner than later here. Ron's weak in the corner. Demo comes and try and help out. Nice rockets out of the Frenchman here. Protect each other. Ron's with the second kill as well. The change is waiting each other out a little bit, but looks like by the end of it, there's just not enough of CSG standing to really put up much of a fight. Thinking about making a little bit from flowers, but it's just not happening anymore. They gotta get the hell out of here. And you actually get another kill on the way there.
They get an still kill onto Runs, but I actually don't know how many doors it opens. It seems like Ams just wants to go anywhere, as instead, now the crunch comes forward, and it's so much damage. Fancy finds 2. He wants himself a little bit of the Frenchie as well. Gets that kill, pipes onto Demul, just barely come out. Demul 30 HP, but gets shut down by Ams. It's a complete wipe out of nowhere for CSG. They just barrel through choke off of 2 soldier frags.
Come on, man!
This is just a completely different game at this point from the previous map. We're in the second act now, and it looks like the League of Shadows is starting to crumble. Maybe CSG is the heroes of the story after all, but for now, there's no game left to go here. They have to make it work on a 3-0 lead this early in the game. With how close it's been at points in this match, would be huge.
It's such a big deal, right? It really seems like Sunshine is just one of the comfort maps for CSG. They played it so well against Yak earlier on in the week. I say this, Condog gets his Ubercharge forced out by Demul. It's not the end of the world. They can still use it to come into loss. Now, Ubercharge is forward. Sticky's on the point, cleared by Ams as he sacrifices himself just on the point. But the health bars are just not really there for CSG. They still try and make this push work, but Kondog has to arrow so many things at once. The cleanup comes out. Just one kill on to Zoe is just not enough for CSG. Rons is in behind, wants this kill onto Kondog. Flip follows up his team kill onto him as well. Charlie taken down, and there we go. The response out of League of Shadows, they want to keep themselves in on this map.
Close call here as well. I can't blame them for trying to make this work, but getting force that early means you really need this gun down ASAP, because so you can actually stay in the fight. You get killing the gun with the force. It's basically just an okay Uber at worst, right? But losing one immediately and still struggling to get the gun quick just makes the whole fall apart so quickly. What started off looking very doable still, and now it's just on the track to go the opposite way instantly here. Pushing to mid does not necessitate the Uber at all. They can keep this for second if they have to here. Still have to worry on second though. There is a sniper, there's a lot of traps looking all over, and a bomb coming through by Horns as well. He's looking for them, can't find a whole lot just yet except for a rocket in the face. Will not work out. Demon time up as well. Does not double down on that, just some damage going forward. They're playing this nice and careful. They might still have a chance to make this Uber work for last.
75% for Kondog. They're still building it up. League of Shadows technically have an advantage, but they have to go right now. They are going in through lower. The Uber comes out now. They want this one frag onto Haunts, and they do finally get it. But so many resources invested into him. They actually managed to get the kill onto Ams Heavy. But now Charlie finds a kill onto Demul, and they've stalled long enough for the Uber to come out now. It's just a matter of the League of Shadows running out, not losing players. If they can keep June alive, they'll just have another advantage to play with after the fight is over. But there's so much damage coming out, and it's just not hitting that much. Instead, it's just Fancy finding so much damage on this Demo Man. They make it work on the second, but June is alive. It's only 10% advantage for her. One pick advantage here for CSG as well. They're looking to maybe, honestly, just go through.
That was great damage with this. It was so easy to just overvalue the medic here, but they went for the damage does instead. Devo with the bomb.
No!
Jolt gets taken out
June!
right after,
June!
but this gets go both ways. June really weak to point us to scout as well. There's no surviving that for medic. There's too many people, so this is just a fight for the DM to win this one right now. Everyone is so weak.
Everyone is so weak, but Fancy might even get some cleanup kills. Nice little sticky trap kill onto Flick. The cleanup onto Rons as well. Elikor, he's not able to follow up. He has one French friend in Demul spawning with him, but June lived for so much longer than she should have there. Dodging in, back and forward.
That's
so
kind of a
many
problem in
rockets tried
hindsight
to get
though,
onto
that
her.
Kondog has so much advantage.
Ooh, he does. It's not that big though. It's about 10%.
I mean, we've seen how they play. This might just make the whole world of difference.
It's just League of Shadows. They just want to go in, though. They find this kill once again onto a Haunts, but it's Demul going down for it as well. Ron's taken down. Ams loses the 1v1 to the future Witness Gaming player of Zoe. As now, it is League of Shadows sitting on the point. They have to be careful from this just be scared of the demo spam in general. So much damage comes out, but Yeehor is just going to distract as Charlie's in behind, gets the kill into June. Now, no medic for the League of Shadows. CSG, they lose too, but they get exactly what they came for on mid.
Beautiful stuff, just a small little distraction. It's all they need, a two-man sack for the medic. And at this point, right, just making them constantly have one step forward, one step back. It's just good enough, right? It's not a pretty way to win this, but with 10 more minutes left, it's a 2-point lead. It's got to get you there sooner or later here, so they need a huge game changer. Maybe Ron's hiding is exactly what they're looking for. Let's see what the Raccoon can do.
Oh, he's trying to the rack attack. Doesn't get much going, unfortunately. About 50 damage to Kondog. There's a health pack right there waiting for him. Now, they're in Cafe. Demul actually hiding under point as well. This is an interesting hiding spot. I'm not actually sure if he'll actually get spotted here. It's just a weird little corner. Because the spam just kind of flies over his head. Now, he can bomb forward, do a lot of damage, but unfortunately, none of it is onto Kondog. He lives once again, but it might have just distracted for long enough. Might have just delayed for long enough for June. She's got her own Uber charge now. CSG, they want to push off of it anyways, it seems like. Potentially, no. Sitting in Cafe, they're gearing up now. Soldier Bomb's coming in straight onto June. So much damage onto her, and she just has to pop it. There's down 2 soldiers here for CSG, though. They have to back off. They don't have the players to try and stay in this fight. League of Shadows trying to push forwards, get the Uber out of Kondog. He's sitting pretty close, actually, as he's just riding out the bomb from Rons and the rest of his team. Kondog is back out on to second with forward spawns on his soldiers in tow. Huge advantage they can play for.
I really liked it on the Shadows, so they didn't just let them get away with this really nice salvage to make something happen with this one, right? Now, this Uber is still there, of course, for the red team, but they will maybe just have to use it to get mid instead of second at that point. The net gain of this whole scenario really isn't there anymore. Worst case scenario, they don't get anything, it's just add for the advantage. They're already just trying to make June just goes down though. While the backup comes through, it's just falling apart on all ends of this fight.
So many players for the League of Shadows immediately decide to try and go behind, but unfortunately for them, CSG turned their heads right back around and instead just make it a bunch of kills. They turn it into an advantage. Now, Ams completely denies Flick there on the flank as he tries to go behind himself. Instead, now Ronda's in Cafe. Surely the Raccoon does not want to go forwards once again. Nope, shoots a couple of rockets, walks back 50... Only, actually, no, 20-30% advantage here for Condor. Not the end of the world, actually, for the League of Shadows.
It kind of is, if you look at the clock, right? I mean, if they use this, it works, it's as good as over. If they just sit here for the next 5 minutes, it's also pretty much over. So this is a real bad position to be in right now, and somehow they're gonna weasel their way out of here right now. I wonder if they can do this anymore, but they don't have a choice but to try, right? This is part of the game where the losing team has to start making quick decisions, a lot more than their opponents.
Yeah, and it looks like so far it's just not really going that way. Never mind, because Condog just drops his Uber to Demul with that kill. It makes it so much easier for League of Shadows to try and hold this. They can just barrel forward, but so many frags are still going the way of CSG. They're all in behind in this lobby here, and Flick, he's managed to find one kill, but there's so many more to find. CSG have just decided to infest the walls, the corners, every little nook and cranny of the League of Shadows' base here, as actually one pipe out of Elifor manages to find Charlie, but Ams can just run in, get the kill onto June, and he gets the sword kill onto Flick to just make matters even worse.
I don't think I'm ready for Haunted House. Ams is inside my wall, CP Sunshine Lobby. But they have to deal with it, and I think they're terrified of Fort right now. Somehow, they're still coming out vaguely on top, but they gotta be quick on this one here. Look, that CP's just not letting go of W.
Haunts gets absolutely destroyed by the lock and load there. Eligor just kind of fires two pipes onto him, and it just completely GG. Gets juggled by one into the other, and you die.
Oh, there we go. Maybe there's a fighting chance here. This round has to be over quick, though, right? You don't want to sit here with like 2 minutes left to get the second one. The clutch isn't overtime. You want to actually afford yourself a little bit of room for error on the final comeback round, and they have so little of any of this right now. Time's running out. No advantage still. It's going to bleed even more off the clock. I think we'll be quick on this one. And CSG, as much as they've been making a mess of things here, now they just need to make a mess of things if League of Shadows starts, right?
Yeah, I mean, they are now sitting far back. They know running the clock is in their complete and total interest. 5.5 minutes left means that, yes, they drop their Uber advantage, but it means that the League of Shadows have to go for an awful, not a very good push here. Honestly, the Uber trade in onto enemy second, try to get that as to be a decent fight, a favorable fight for your team. It's just so difficult. On the flank, though, it's a kill onto Yeehor. Decent start. Rocket comes forwards out of runs on to Condog. Doesn't manage to find anything, though. The soldier sacks kind of just failed. And Moore got air shot when he tried to go in as well. Instead, now bombing through choke. He wants Condog so bad, and he just doesn't get him. Shut down by Ams. And now maybe Charlie actually does get taken down, but it's just Ams running forward here. He wants his kill on the flick so desperately, and it's his demo man finding him. But Condog, he doesn't have his team with him, so Zoe can just run right through Valley. And this is pretty much, honestly, it's a little bit dirty, it's a little bit messy, but it's what the League of Shadows need, is to keep June alive with a huge advantage. They get their spawners in 5-10 seconds here. They can take this fight back in on to middle. They only have 4.5 minutes to try and push us to a golden cap, to try and take it in 2 maps.
All right, there we go. Time's running out, though. They got to be quick on this one here, and CSG just needs to prey on it, right? Like, a backup at any point is just going to be devastating if that's what they want to do here. We'll see what the options are on the defense right now, but one thing for sure, League of Shadows is gonna play quick on this one. Already starting to throw runs, and Demo scouting out what's on mid here a little bit, getting sleep on it. That moment costs me huge, but runs a little late on the call here. Gets still there anyway. He hoped good enough.
June is just juking and jiving, refuses to pop to Yeehor. He manages to fire 6 scattergun shots and like a whole pistol clip, and it doesn't matter. June does not pop for that. Haunt cannot find anything on the flank here, just gets taken down. But now Condog, I mean, he has an Uber on his own. He doesn't have a team anymore. Everyone's kind of dead. He's just sitting in his own lobby with Ams, but everyone's back up on last here. Once again, the entire mantra for CSG is delay, delay, delay. The League of Shadows, they have all their players. They're just running in onto last so much. A little bit of cap time here as Rons does decent damage to Ams, to Fancy here. The Uber Charge does not come out of Condog before the enemy Demo Man. His Demo Man just gets taken down. Centrica now, Eloquor manages to find it, but there's cleanup kills onto the League of Shadows. They're 3 dead. Neither team has popped an Uber Charge. Time is ticking for the League of Shadows.
They do all they can to try to win false out early. So many people in at once, but they know they can't really risk June using Firster in any circumstance, so lucky they get out of his life. Horn's actually really desperate to get a force out there as well. They don't really have to rush the issue that much, but give them here a tiny fighting chance. It's 1 kill early. That makes whatever they were trying to do just now a lot easier here. Now, as we go to round 2 on the last push, Bombs coming through again. Ron doesn't get much. People coming through. Heavy and Charlie deny him just in time. That might just be all they have in store for us.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to make this work, but once again, it's 3 dead. This is so good for CSG here. The longer they could just keep winning these trades, the harder it is for the League of Shadows to ever make something work. But no, wait, Flick and Condom, they're just running in from lower. Flick is trying to win the 1v1 with Yeehor, and he does. But now, the Uber's coming out on last. The rest of CSG are just not there. The counter Uber is on to Fancy, but it's another kill onto Charlie here. So many kills are going the way of the League of Shadows. They've managed to find so many players now. It's 3 dead for CSG. Yes, there's Sticky's on the point, but there's so many League of Shadows members just streaming in onto last. They might have just found the opening. With 2 minutes left, the League of Shadows, they do not want to see process. They want to end it on Sunshine. They started off well. 2 minutes for another round to bring us to a golden cap.
Very doable, but not easy in the slightest. They brought themselves yet another chance. It is going to come down to the wire right now, and if they have anything to say about this League of Shadows, this might be far from the end of the map here, like you said, so a little bit of time left here. This needs to be such a flawless round, though. They can't really afford to lose anyone, let alone the medic on the mid fight.
It needs to be such a good mid fight for the League of Shadows. The damage onto Condog is a huge start for them. Counterbomb out of Charlie here doesn't really find anything. They lose so many of their fragging classes, but if they could just keep June alive, they might have a chance here. Instead, though, Eloquor now taken down. CSG, they don't have their medic, but they want to get the enemy medic. Instead, June can run back out. Now, minutes on the clock for CSG. They just have to hold on for 1 minute, but no medic. It's a full Ubercharge advantage here for June. You see now, Flick, he wants to take it through Valley. They want to get back onto the mid, but they have to do it without popping their Ubercharge. They need this to push second, to push last. Instead, the Sticky's out of Fancy. They have to take a while to clean these out. 50 seconds on the clock now. The fight is happening on mid here. They're going forwards on CSG. They want this force out. June finally pops it here onto Flick, and he's just taking it forward. 1 kill to Yeehor in the meantime, though. But Condog is just so far away, being run out by a scout. Flick wants this fight, but it doesn't happen. Instead, Horns is in onto June and just barely finds her now. CSG, they cannot lose more members here. It's so much damage onto the soldier, onto the demo man as well. It's actually Fancy is taken down. Charlie is back in onto lower here. League of Shadows, they have so little health. It's 20 seconds, and the League of Shadows are just trying to push in. CSG, they have an Ubercharge now. They have both scouts. There's any scouts to try and hold this last point. It's just them. 10 seconds now. Flick is dancing around the point. Zoe's in as well. The Ubercharge, it's fading, but there's so many CSG members. Finally, barely, they take Sunshine, and they bring us to a map number 3.
That's just about it here. That June still was just game deciding, right? Sure, the Uber for Condog was always going to be big, but if they had any more heals there, they could have played so much faster into any of this and maybe gotten some more kills just in time for making anything make a difference. Maybe have like a Devilman on point there, juggle people up and just steal the round away just barely. But it's gonna do it. CSG keeps their own dream alive of making a loser's run here throughout the bracket in playoffs for this ETF2L season, and this game is just going to go the full distance now. We'll have a long one here tonight, it looks like, and that's not even the only game we have today.
No, after this, from Minder, we've got TF2 Easy versus Witness Gaming coming up after this. It's at 21.
Yeah, there's a nice little break for dinner for everyone involved, so that's nice.
Nice little dinner break. And when we come back in 21 after this map, of course, this next map will also be a banger. We have some logs here. I'm going to be honest. Once again, logs are logs. And there is basically nothing interesting to say about them. I'm going to be very honest.
I mean, I guess generally slightly improved, of course, on CSG. The plays are on like a very conceptual level didn't change all too much. It was just done a whole lot better, and League of Shadows had a lot harder time actually catching up with it right now, let alone closer mid-fights as well. On top of that, certainly made a chance. I think the big difference was just Condor survivability. I mean, you can see the raw numbers, but we also saw in gameplay how close it was a lot of the time, but he didn't survive those in the first map, and he certainly did this time around. And it just makes so much of a difference here.
It makes such a big difference that CSG are able to take those fights. They honestly just do. Look like they have just a much better idea of what they want to do on Sunshine. So they take it. It was pretty close towards the end. I feel like, honestly, there's a little bit more time left on the timer there. I think give League of Shadows like 2 or 3 more minutes. Like, not even 2 or 3. Give them 1 more minute. They probably just win that round because they don't have to barrel in with all their players dead. Instead, they have to take that trade on middle. They don't even have to. They just have to take that fight on middle. They don't find anything, and now we're on to third map.
I don't like that discussion. That sounds like wonky NA funny rule set.
Can you imagine being NA though?
Can you imagine this? We'd still be like halfway through map 2 right now.
Imagine though. Imagine. All right. Anyway, let's stop laughing at Americans and instead talk about map.
It's
number
not their
3.
choice, okay? Sometimes you just have a bad roll for G on character creation, okay? Cut them some slack.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to play with bad rules. It is what it is. All right. Map number 3. Map number 3 is, of course, Process. And seeing what you have seen these past 2 maps, Dum Tum, what is the big brain analysis? Everyone in chat right now is about to bet all of their TFTV channel points on one team. Which one do they pick?
Well, generally I would go with the funnier one, which I guess is CSG. That being said, I don't know. Like, League of Shadows might have lost that, sure, but it was really close by the end of it, right? I think they were just like completely stumped how they actually want to approach this one, but they might be getting there finally, and if they get there for map 3, that's all they need, right? Just adaptability right now is going to make all the difference in the world. CSG has shown, okay, well, we're getting into the swing of things finally. This is what we have to offer. If whoever wants up this first is just going to win the map immediately, right? CSG is going to continue doing what they do best, I suppose. I don't think there's a plan B for them. They just have a plan A, and if that doesn't work, they just do plan A even more. And it's
plan
on League of Shadows to handle it.
Plan A. Like plan AA.
That's just batteries.
Or it's a sniper clan.
Is that a thing anymore? Do people still care about that?
Kind of, but I think the problem
Does anyone still care about Steam groups at all?
No. I don't think anyone really has cared about AA for the last like 20 years, which is funny because I think their most recent inductee, one of the most recent, is actually Kunu. Shoutouts to Kunu, by the way.
Hey, he sniped pretty well given the circumstances in the last game. So.
True.
Actually, never mind. Ixie won the snap if we snipe, but I don't think about it. So never mind. Well, Kunu can say he was sick, and we all know Ixie was sick.
Yeah. I think, okay, here's the thing, right? Coming in onto Process, right? I think Process is all about the scout diff, baby. And I think, I'm going to be real, Flick and Zoe have been looking pretty nice.
It was really close, though. Like, all these scouts are just playing out of their minds at this point.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I'm waiting for, like, the AMS Uber that, like, actually hits shots. But, like, you know, like, maybe...
The AMS Uber to end all AMS Ubers?
The perfect Amzuba 6k with Kondog running in right next to him, actually. Actually, no. Maybe, what is the perfect Amzuba? Is it not Kondog running in through 1 on Process lost before AMS and then AMS running in and getting a 6k?
I think the perfect Amzuba is they exchange into mid, Kondog can't get out, and then it's a 5-man second they win.
Oh, yeah. True. I think it's actually really sad. I mean, I guess... So, my favorite Kondog moment of all time was when he decided to push Gollywash River on his own. With his, like, Ubersaw out. He just kind of runs in the Gollywash River. I think that's my favorite... Maybe one of my favorite Premiership moments on time.
We have one update for Div 1 loser semis that's going on right now as well. Spoilers for anyone who doesn't want to hear them, I suppose. Mute for 30 seconds. Poland wins 4-2 Gully, 3-0 Bagel. So Poland's making it to losers finals. Winners finals is later tonight as well. If I'm quick, I might be able to catch some of that. That's Swift against Ben Tools. So that might be on my channel. And then We have Div 1 tomorrow as well, which should be on Team Fortress TV 2 most likely.
Nice, nice. Look at us covering Div 1 as well. Covering Mac and Danny, Turkish powerhouse super combo, trying to win Div 1. As Danny wants to win his first final. It's gonna maybe happen.
We'll see, we'll see. It's gonna be interesting for sure how anything develops in Division 1, but for now, we still have to worry about Premiership. This is certainly, speaking of interesting, that's a nice way to put this one. So, it's gonna be quite something.
It really will be. I think the thing that will be the most something is actually, I think, alright, there might be a mod that throws out like a prediction, like betting thing, but like I think actually what it should be is like, let's do a poll for how many times will Condog drop the Uber as we head in to the final map of the lower bracket semi-finals. League of Shadows, they took map 1 of Metalworks, but CSG came back narrowly to take down Sunshine on map 2. Now, but playing for their playoff lives here is the League of Shadows, is CSG. We're on to Process as Rons is straight in onto Condog, onto Fancy as well. Does so much damage, but doesn't find the cleanup rockets instead. It's just Charlie going down, but the space, it feels like it's firmly in the favor of CSG. They deal so much damage to the League of Shadows. One cleanup kill onto Flick here. It's just 3 up, left alive. Horns bombing through choke. Ellicore might just get caught out here. Fancy all the way in onto lobby. Zoe barely cleans him up. Might get another one here. Actually, just onto Abs, and it looks like CSG, despite of a little bit more than they can shoot.
Alright, well, people were wondering what its League of Shadows mid-fights wins are, and we still can't find them just now. There's just not really abundant today here, but maybe they can just get the late win, right?
Oh my
Obviously,
God,
I tell you, this might not be a
Charlie!
win, but they are winning alright. Charlie taking out the Sky, and they will have to get the second cap again, but they're on track to get this one. Look at that, now falling back already. They might want to fight back, but Condog's really weak, but yeah, but they could do this.
That is a giant rack attack moment on to Charlie. He gets completely blasted by Rons. Now, it just gives so much control on this midpoint, actually, for the League of Shadows. Homo just has to pop out the Uber because Demul just bombs straight in, forces him out. June, once again, back on to second. It seems like, honestly, if there's anything that has been working out in favor of the League of Shadows, it is these Uber forces. Demul and Rons have been so much more effective of getting the Uber charges out of Condog. June, nowhere to be found for CSG. They try to send in Horns, he just gets completely denied. Now, League of Shadows, they want to try to get back in onto middle, 2 stickies. Just being cleared up here as there is no fight for CSG. They have to back off. 50% advantage here for June. As the League of Shadows, they want to keep rolling.
You got it, right? This is all that matters now in this match anymore. This game decides it all right now. In game 3, Demo trades on the flank. Fine, we don't have to worry about the guy behind. Jump scare. Ooh, Charlie's still there. Picking up pretty quick. We get Morsty. Find the kills for it though. Condog getting out of the light just now, but there's not a lot of last anymore. They gotta be very careful how they do this.
Oh my god, the Abs Uber of my dreams comes out as, unfortunately, absolutely no one goes down to it. Instead, Flick just runs in, 2 shots Abs, 2 shots Fancy, and the Uber is an absolute travesty. The cleanup comes out for the League of Shadows. Condog taken down as well. It's 3 up on last here, but that is just not. The Uber popped so early onto Abs, and it does absolutely nothing.
That is the answer of your dreams. Nothing happens. They just
Perfect
walked
answer.
around. They just took stroll through process second.
Yep, that was not the best push in the world, to be completely honest. They want to try and go in. They want to try and make something of the Uber advantage. Instead, they don't find any kills because the League of Shadows, it's the most telegraphed push of all time as well. You know it's going to come. So instead, they just back right off. Flick manages to 2-shot 2 players at once, and the cleanup comes out of a run. So they take the round. Really good stuff out of Flick. Honestly, just wins them that round. Now instead, Horns goes up so high early on in this mid-fight here. Both soldiers, they both just trade high grounds. Early kill onto Ellicore here from Charlie as he just goes forward to rockets, do so much damage to the League of Shadows. Once again, CSG are coming ahead in the mid-fight, but June is up and alive and kicking, running back onto her own last. Has to be careful though, because the chase just comes forward. Horns actually beats his jump, and June, she can just barely escape onto the spawn. Demul gets taken down, but June is alive and well, 100%. Condog himself actually doesn't have, just back up on second. So much ground still taken by CSG.
hanging on by a thread, but it's going to do it here, barely. And that's all you're asking for, right? League of Shadows just still hanging in there. I mean, mid-fight still not really winning from this map. It's been rough on mids right now. Charlie, once again, sees an opportunity, goes for the medic, misses the air shot though. Not gonna be staying alive. That's not too big a deal though. They have plenty of time to figure this out still, right? We are barely 5 minutes into the map. Bomb comes through for Devil as well. It's not gonna be enough. Both teams just really want these medics dead. I mean, that's been the story of the game, right? Both teams just so happy to throw to each other at medics.
They really have. It's been backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. Now, with that one kill, CSG peeking in through one here. They don't have any off classes. It's a heavy onto Zoe. But the Demo Man of Elacor can hold down an entire choke by himself. Yeehor gets completely deleted. Now, one kill for the League of Shadows. It's their time to try and maybe peek on 2-second, but instead, Charlie takes a lot of damage as well. Zoe on the sniper has to hit a shot, but it is so difficult when everyone is out of your sightline.
Alright, well, we'll see. I usually like to bring up here how the top two teams perform on these last points right now, especially in process. They've made some great changes throughout the years on how they approach this point, but we're exactly at the 2 positions behind them in the table, so I do wonder how the differences here will look like. For now, it's a lot more traditional what we've seen in the past few years, I suppose, right? Just the classic old sniper stalemate, but with a lot less time on the clock.
Yep.
So that's really what you want to go for anymore.
Yep, I mean, up 1-0 is League of Shadows. It's 24 minutes, though. I feel like if you're ever going to go for a sniper stalemate, it's towards the beginning of the map. But now, Elacor is going to peek into lobby. Actually doesn't do too much damage, but does get away with his life. So many CSG members around Yeehor to try and just keep him alive here. Soldiers now bombing in backwards and forwards, but it's a headshot from Zoe onto Fantasy. No, Demo Man means that it's so much harder for CSG to hold there on the lobby. Instead, they're going to back off 2-second. 1 kill into runs. Will prompt them a little bit of a peek, a little bit of an excursion back in to lobby, but another kill into Haunts now. It has to get so dangerous here for CSG. They're playing with fire, honestly. The bomb comes in. Demul doesn't quite find Yeehor. Instead, though, he has to play such an awkward position here from Elacor. He does find the sticky, but might just get taken down. Instead, no. Just AMS, and they're 3 down on CSG. This push has not worked.
Well, the bright side here is that no weapons have been used yet, so no medics were harmed in the making of this push just yet, although I think League of Shadows is just going to sit by and, you know, let Condor get away with this right now. There's a chance that he can get some headshots in his skull, not quite yet, 50 damage, good enough. But that sure is, once finds him in return, and it's just turned around instantly on them.
That is such a huge play from the Horns now. June going down unlocks the enemy loss for CSG, and everyone's cleaned up immediately. That bomb out of Horns, man, completely shuts down June, and that is a round. It is now 1-1, 22.5 minutes left. It's anyone's game of map number 3 here.
Maybe this will just be the last time Portugal has something to cheer for the coming weeks here. This Horns really has this whole nation on his back right now. Let's see how it goes right now. Going into the next mid-fight. 1-1 game again. All open for the taking here, but Shadows really needs to win these mid-fights now.
They really do, honestly. The bomb comes in out of the wall. There's decent spacing damage, but they end up taking so much damage. No! A kill onto Condog is huge, as now Amazon wants to dead as well. The health is technically still present on June, but finally she's cleaned up, and unfortunately still, they managed to get the kill onto Condog, which is big, but unfortunately the cleanup comes out of Fancy, comes out of Yeehor. They take the mid-fight once again to CSG.
There you go, just another mid-win here, the 3-0 on mid-fights, I believe. You know, the first one sure they did win, but pretty quickly lost around afterwards. Doesn't matter, they won a mid-fight here, so statistically it's also going very well for them, and even League of Shadows playing well this map, they just have to play everything from such a deficit right now. This is, I guess, the least bad it's been in a minute here, because at least I'm having to play from a deficit as well. They can just sit on second for now. So they got to figure out how to get out of here now.
It's gonna be difficult, right? Like, they are just gonna have to do something, and it's so hard when you're just sitting. Even there's 20 minutes left. I mean, it's hard to motivate yourself to move at all, like, especially when you're down such a disadvantage. But There's a lot of damage there to Ron on the flank. Now he's going to have to clear some stickers. He's going to have to click on them, though, to try and make it work. Instead, it's just Charlie taking it down. So is Yeehor taken down by Demul as well. So now 2 dead for CSG. It means that League of Shadows, they send in a soldier here to run. He doesn't even go for the enemy team. He just goes in behind, wants to set up a flank play. Now, it's just Demul bombing forwards onto Fancy. And the follow-up pipe out of Elikor from across the map finds that demo kill. It's actually another one onto Horns as well. And this is really awkward now for CSG. They're 3 down. The Eagle has to come out. The counter will pop so much later by June. Yes, it's a solo onto Ams, but how do you hold this at all? If you're on second, you don't have a team here. You're just back on your own second. There's no real high ground for the League of Shadows. Elikor has a bomb up on it, but a lot of damage is dealt by Charlie. He bombs forwards, but he's just taken down as well. Now, the rest of his team is forwards as well. A lot of damage on to Demul. Yes, MORC just taken down instead by Yeehor, but Yeehor should get cleaned up. Everyone is having to take these very strange, long, prolonged chaos fights.
That was concerning. The June used pretty late there, but they didn't have really anyone to chase down properly and just spam them down on the way out, so just like a solo Demoman going deep would have ended this fight so much faster. Made this a whole lot more complicated in the end, letting everyone kind of back out in time here, but coming out on top here in the end. With that said, this whole thing took so long. Both medics, the second fight ends. Actually, Uber instantly now. June like 10 away from it, but that's fine. They have the time to spare there on the upper hand map position for us right now. Just gotta figure out how they break this one open right now. There's a gun up as well, so it's not gonna be that easy, but bombs are trying to come through anyway, and we're trying for the Emperors today. Oh, we're hitting them, but it's too late. The wall saves him once again.
Ron's was so very close there. Honestly, Demul shot him up into the air. I thought it might have just been cut into the air shot. Looked pretty close instead. Ams is going to just barrel in, try to get in onto June. Unfortunately, doesn't hit the shoe shot. Now, it's 2 down for CSG as well. Fancy can just sit, hold, and lobby. Watch out for the scout, though, because Flick can just run forwards, take down your Demo Man. Now, no Demo Man for CSG means that the League of Shadows, they just kind of want to push forwards here, but kills onto Flick and onto Demul denies the push from ever happening.
Alright, CSG holding strong right now. Can keep this going. Quick counter bomb as well. Just seeing what they can do with only 1 scout alive, but 1 scout's all they need. Zoe defends the mat quite nicely. Will make it happen. Very chaotic stymate so far. League of Shadows just... I mean, right, like, they're clearly doing stuff on last, but for now all that's happening is the sack wave, right, pretty much. Maybe they need a little bit more of a subtle approach. Just not send anyone deep already and just try to keep the people that are making space alive a little bit longer. As now with the sniper especially, you can't just send people in anymore. You gotta just slowly make space.
Demul is on the sniper here. In a one, a nice little headshot there onto Haunts. Relatively close range, but unfortunately it's just a headshot onto the soldier. Needs a little bit more for League of Shadows to actually be able to come forwards here, as now it's a lot of damage here on 2 Hams, but it's not any follow-up. Instead, it's Zoe taken down on the flank. Demul dropped so very, very low, but is still alive. Has to back off to second. Hams on the counter sniper now.
Alright, fighting fire with fire. Let's see how it goes. Demul certainly likes this sniper to be insanely good, but if he gets blindsided by his soldier, there's only so much he can do.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate for Demul. Wrong place, wrong time. Opens up the door a little bit more for Ams. But unfortunately, he doesn't really have the same team support with that engineer being up as well. It will make it a lot harder for Ams to actually be able to peek out. You can see he has the soldier with him. Question is it enough support into 1 so easily spammable? June holding behind point as well.
It is League of Shadows calling for a pause here as well at some point. I don't know if someone DC'd, hard to tell sometimes. So we'll just have to wait and see here for what this might be, but it's a dicey position to be in for CSG either way, right? I mean, I guess there's like a second where Ams can snipe right now, and that is still kind of terrifying, but surely he won't hit the medic here, right? Surely not.
June has stood behind the point in the first place. So I think, okay, here's the crackpot theory, right? Ams peaks 1.
Oh, I like crack.
Stands on a sticky bomb from Elikor. Elikor detonates the sticky. Ams rides the sticky across over point, lands next to June, and close range headshots her. Drops her, and then CSG push out.
That sounds very believable. Yeah, sure,
yep.
Let's go for that.
Yep. It's exactly what happens. I'm a TF2 analysis. Exactly that sentence as well.
Alright, we'll see what comes of it here in the end, but... God, what a match it's been, right? I mean, we're like about halfway through the third map, and this has just been a roller coaster so far. I mean, at the end of the day, this is just a League of Shadows against the Joker, but 6 times in TF2 gameplay form, and
Yep.
one villain will come out on top today, but which one is it?
Who is the most Joker, baby? I don't know. Alright, Tum Tum. It's map number 3. We've been here forever, it feels like. The pause is gonna last forever as well. Guys, in chat, I hope you're with me. Oh, never mind, round pause. I managed to curse us. As, okay, let's see. He's not walking forwards. There is one sticky on one. He could do it if he really wanted to. If Am was a true hero, he would go for it right now. He'd become Superman. Instead, he's just back on last. He's being boring and playing sniper how he should play it and not
man wants to win.
Yeah, cringe, cringe, cringe.
Nemo wants to go back to sniper apparently. He's just in on last. Oh, Ron's dice as well. Oh
Yep.
no. Oh no.
Wait, hang on. It's actually just 3 kills here for CSG now. 3 dead. Am's still on the sniper here. Wants to just use the pressure of the sniper to make it really hard for League of Shadows to actually come in at all. But the sticky trap kill onto Fancy means that Conduct, because Ams is just on the sniper, there's no pocket scout with him. Yehor not with his medic. And so Horns is taken down as he bombs forward. But this push is just not it for CSG. No Demo Man down. Yes, they traded Uber, but League of Shadows, they have their way in onto last here. Flick now coming forward with Zoe as well. The heavy is up, but it's so much damage on the Condor here. The Captain's coming out in second, but it's not enough. Instead, CSG, they try to take the fight, but it just doesn't go their way. League of Shadows punished, and they are up now 2-1. 16 minutes.
The massive touchdown in the end. Somehow they brought this one back from a very bad position admittedly here, but that's gonna do it. We have a lead again halfway through the map. Can they keep it for any prolonged time? This is what the pause happened as well. Just quickly figure out your strategy, I guess. I mean, if that's what's happened here, then they really need it. The mid-fights have been really bad so far, but it looks like that's not quite how it went. Someone had some issues before the mid-fight. It's just costing them even going to mid.
Absolute Eames classic of just not going to mid, instead holding second. As unfortunately, instead of like 1 minute left, it is 15. Nope, it's some guy on League of Shadows saying don't go to mid, and Eames joined Mumble and said it. Promise.
Judging by June's ping being like 90 a second ago, and now going down again to a lot more reasonable numbers for someone that is very close to the server. Sure, let's go with that.
Yep, a Book of Eames coming out in full force. Shout out to Dolly for giving me the beautiful quote. As now, even Ubers, both teams just gonna sit. We're on process. I hope you guys like this. This is TF2 now.
Welcome to the next. Well, see, that's the benefit now. That's only going to be the next 5 minutes of this game now.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's nice. So it's
I'm
cozy.
not gonna sit here for all too long. This is, and one team still really has to actually bring this one back. CSG can't just idly sit by. League of Shadows could, I guess, but that's not really the game we've been seeing today, right?
Really isn't. It's just...
Yeah, I agree with Dow. You shouldn't be Twitch headline.
I actually tapped out because we have a live stream feed that has saved me because my game has crashed like 4 times while casting this.
Why are you tabbing out? You have 2 monitors.
Because I need to tab out to swap from the stream feed to the Twitch chat.
Unbelievable.
Because actually, specifically, when I cast it...
Anyway, big bombs coming.
Oh
my god, Rons is deep. There we go. Demo finds the force as well. Can they survive it all? They're saying and they want to fight. June doesn't pop for Zoe though.
Yeah, the pop on to Zoe there doesn't come out. Instead, actually, Ams with the back cap here forces the rest of League of Shadows to come back. One soldier to support him as well. It's not that much damage dealt, unfortunately, by Charlie, but it does bring them out of second. Unfortunately, now for League of Shadows, it's even Ubers and League of Shadows. They just have more players here. The bomber coming in out to June though, and the damage comes forwards from Fantasy as well. So much damage being dealt, but now Condog gets taken down by Demul. He's on a 5 killing spree here. Finally gets taken down by Yehor, who does bite the dust himself. CSG, they managed to salvage, do League of Shadows with a kill onto Condog, but that is... It looked fine, but then it didn't look fine, and then it was kind of okay again. I don't like this dumb.
CS7 doing a good play and then being let down by the rest of the team is kind of what the brand demands of Pawns, I suppose. So all going according to the script so far here for CSG, but this is still not exactly what they've been looking for. League of Shadows will keep the midpoint alive here. It's the slightest hint of an advantage, but This is just not much to go off, right? Is it? Yeah, if they were further down the timer, I could see them actually make a play of this, but at this point, I'd be surprised.
I feel like, honestly, yeah, you just sit here, especially if you're a League of Shadows. You're up 1 round. There's no reason to push. Just chill, relax, wait for your medic to start, you know, lagging again, but don't tell anyone. I think, honestly, now, CSG, they're putting up the route as well. It's still 13 minutes, so I don't think the timer's really scaring them. But if you're League of Shadows, they're finally getting an Uber of their own. They're probably only just going to sack in the soldiers. That's probably going to be that. And then it's up to CSG to be able to play around it. They probably kind of have to play around it. Pushing in on the 2 process mid can be hard. You see now runs, posturing around choke as Dumul will come up, get a buff as well here, and now any second now, there we go, the skip jump comes forwards out of Dumul. As he gets forwards here, a lot of damage is dealt, but only on to Dumul himself. Instead now, League of Shadows to just sack 1, and that's about it. It is going to spur CSG forward, send Haunt in from choke, gets 1 rocket onto June, but she just manages to surf it onto the pack. There we go.
Alright, well, CSG is looking for any opportunities to get in on this point at some point here, but League of Shadows, look at that, picking up the sniper rifle here as well. Demo, once again, happy to play the slow if they have to, as long as it works in the end. Let's see what it is so far. I mean, conversion rate on sniper didn't look so shabby. They don't see it coming. Conduct certainly still playing around into sidelines if they are not aware yet. Might be very dangerous in a second.
Aware is a Twitch emote you could be typing in chat right now. I think more
that's very true.
Monka W would be appropriate here as the Dumul sniper is looking for shots. Unfortunately, runs, tries to sack in and make a little bit of space for the sniper, doesn't find anything. Now, I'm pretty sure the sniper should have been called for CSG, and they are using this opportunity to push forward. A lot of damage on to Charlie as the push is slowly coming out. Yeehor now in as well on the flank has finally been spotted here, but it's going to allow the rest of CSG to just come barreling forward here. They're in through choke. Fancy as well jump forward, but he needs a bow from Condog now as well, who just rides the Uber forward here, but he isn't able to salvage any of his team. He pops the Uber, but just on himself pretty much, has to use the Uber to just run away. June pops the Uber out herself, but it is just so much better for the League of Shadows. But now Haunt, he's in from behind, the collapse come forward. It's so much damage here in this blue choke, but the follow-up isn't there. League of Shadows, they have 2 frags instead of just 1, and they take second. CSG are not able to fight this.
Yeah, this is good enough right now. No soldiers left to really fight the back and get any big bombs going to let the rest of the team get back in here. In all the meantime, there's still Demo sniping 91 with 150 damage, and one more blue team left to go through, but they're fighting back. They're trying to stay close here. They're not letting them get close at all. In last, they're just leaving them in lobby.
Zoe as well tries to get cheeky there and roll out. He's not able to actually get in and find anything. Now instead, Bronze just sacks in, tries to get something, finds nothing. Even Ubers, both teams, CSG, have 2 kills though. They're looking to push in on to second here. As Haunt trying to clear lower here. Ams is just running in at Zoe, trying to take a 1v1. Actually does end up winning it now. Demul sitting behind point, wants to bomb in forwards onto Condog. Actually hits the rocket. Condog has to pop the Uber now. Wants to flash Ams, but Ams is just running a little bit further ahead. He can't get flashed, and now June sitting pretty on the middle. Giant advantage for the League of Shadows. They don't get the Zoe forward spawn, but they don't care. They can just sit and hold this now under 10 minutes. CSG, they have to start making plays happen, or they will just get choked out of this last map.
Alright, time is slowly but surely becoming a real issue for them, but League of Shadows with the advantage is just sitting so pretty, slowly pushing us back to second. Could play this fast to get a bigger lead here, and a bigger lead would still be nice, so I'm sure they're playing around that option very much, but right now they just don't want to use into second to begin with here, and it looks like they're getting away with it. Everyone just a bit afraid of approaching on CSG. This will not really be an advantage to last anymore, but that doesn't stop them from trying anyway.
Oh, Uber's just coming in straight onto Elicohoy. They spent so many resources trying to take down Charlie, and actually just lived. Instead, Setsuga taken down, but the counter pop comes in out of Condog, and it's huge. Finding Elicohoy and runs is so very big, and onto the flick as well. Now, 3 players down for the League of Shadows. They're also low in choke, and Ams could just come in with the cleanup. Haunt is with him as well, as just Juna left alive. She's going to have to run for the hills, but the rockets out of Haunt find her as well. The cap on it to middle comes out. Huge advantage for Condog here as well. It looks like CSG, they're back into this game. They found their ticket on to a 2-2.
This has to do it, right? This is too big disaster. If you don't convert this one, what does it take? Get Rons as well. Incredibly late spawner, 20 seconds gone from actually being a notable presence on this last one at all. Zoe looking for the snipe and fights it.
Zoe back on the land sniper there. He's bunked out of his mind. Gets that headshot to Condor, but not enough. There's just a scout having the point. They're all swarming over at one sticky now. The heavy is up and getting bowed. Charlie has high ground, but he can't get in. Instead, he's the only one up for his team. That headshot out of Zoe is so clutch.
You just can't play slow anymore. You want to just whittle away on them, right? Getting some player ad and just keep railing at them slowly but surely. But without heals, what are you going to do? Keep sitting behind the heavy, right? You just don't stand much of a chance on the long engagement anymore. Now they have heals again, and once again, they're going quick this time around. Actually, Big Bomb in horns, the rest of the team following up, and not much in. You find their first soldier, though. Be enough already here. Everyone's playing a little afraid in the back, and they know 2.5. They can't approach too much here, but they really do want to get rid of the Sugar. It's a very awkward push and pull right now. Making the backline, doing some good work here as well. Another 1v1 as well, shooting down, can't hit the final shot.
Oh, Ron
gets the pack.
Ron's just beefing as well. He got the pack. Yeah, there's so much work distracting, and that means now Connacht has 100% Uber. CSG, they want to. Listen, they're sitting so close in choke, but they can't get forward. Instead, now just backing up to his chat writes luck. He is definitely not happy about Yeho taking down. It's actually just a play onto Al-Qaeda here now as Charlie walks forwards with Fancy as well, but the spam is so big out of the wall here. Makes it really difficult for Condor to come through. Haunts wants to bomb in. Doesn't find anything. Condor down to half HP. They are in sewer. They have to be scared because Demul is in behind, but the flank just gets taken down. Now, Sochico for both teams, actually, CSG, they kind of just want to ride this forward. They have to make something happen soon now. Yeho running in through choke as well, but it's Flick on high ground. The Uber's now coming out of Condog and straight in onto June as the counter Uber is popped onto Elocore. Stickies and choke block Condog from running out. Now, Flick back in with his team. Pipe onto Condog as well. Makes it so much harder for the rest of his team to come forward. He's so very low, but as a kill into runs here, and this gets taken down, but so does Flick. It's 4 alive for the League of Shadows. Demul is stuck in lobby as well, but Haunt is cleaned up. Now, Fancy Elf and the Scout over Yeho sitting on a point here on second, but the League of Shadows, they want to refight this. They can refight it because the rest of CSG, all the way back in choke, they don't have second at all. It looked like an opportunity for them. They didn't take it, and the League of Shadows, they're holding on. They're grinding down the time here. 5.5 minutes is all they have to hold on for here. CSG, they need something now.
I am amazed how they got back on the second point as well. That looked so bad to re-push into, but somehow they make it work. But it's not over yet either. Neither team has over yet. But oh boy, are they trying to already get this thing back. They need it quick as well. They need to get at least one more round before the timer ends. They can't stay behind for any longer here. Push is already here. Everyone's fighting back. No good position of the League of Shadows with some good damage as well. Everyone's kind of hit real bad. They're starting to deep numbers. Demol down, going deep for the damage, but it's not enough for them right now. 1v1 on the flank. Zoe gets the win there real quick. Makes up for numbers lost here a little bit, but they're not giving up on the point at all. Numbers traded even more. That moment finds one more. 2-4-2 going down right now, but he's finally backing up. Nope, it is Bane Dead popping in on the Devilman all alone in front of Choke.
The AMS Uber just comes in and cleans up Elocore, but there's not really anything else to be found. Counter Uber out of June to make sure that, yes, AMS kills his former teammate, but what about the rest of the League of Shadows? Now, 2 scouts on top of point. It's actually just Charlie bombing the scout. AMS does decent work, but Charlie, he doesn't have teammates. It feels like CSG, they're throwing in 1-2 players at a time, but that's just not enough. Instead, you need to go in all 6. These fights are so disjointed for CSG. And League of Shadows, they're just taking the 1v1s. They're winning them now. Once again, the pressure's coming in. Charlie wants to come forward. They're trying to crack this nut that is the second point of process, and they're just not able to.
A little bit more to go here. 4 minutes on the clock. This is not a whole lot of time anymore, but again, they only need the 1 round to at least clutch this into overtime. CSG, anything can do it here, but you gotta be real smart about it at this point, trying to approach a little bit with the scout, sneaking out what's happening here, maybe get a bomb in with this as well. Just rotate people into sewer. Something's gotta bring the change finally, but what will it be? Everyone's just standing across of him on the high ground. There we go, that is going into you actually.
Ubercharge coming in, but it's popped out so much later by June onto Elikor. Now Amt has to lead out his medic and PC, and Gamul is just there to try and get the kill onto Kondog. Instead, he just doesn't even get the kill onto Amt, taking the 1v1. Now is a kill onto Fancy, once again caught out in the flank though, because they don't have a demo. It's 2 down for CSG. They're back onto middle. They still can't make this push work. No demo man means that League of Shadows, they're pushing out on their own, but the bomb into choke is huge for these soldiers here, but it's just Am's taken down. He has to get the return kill onto Hordes though. It's just taken down by the pipes. Horde dead as well. 2 up for CSG. Kondog falls, and it feels like honestly maybe the rest of CSG's playoff dreams of falling with them. Charlie goes in for the miracle bomb, doesn't find it. 2.5 minutes, and the League of Shadows have put their foot through the door to the lower bracket final.
There's still a chance left, but you need to have such a good last push, such a good last defense, right now. That is all you can really hope for. Bring out the crit streak as well. They know they have to go quick once they're given the opportunity to do it, but the Crash is sitting in such a nice position right now, and all they have to do is just keep this lead alive for just a tiny bit longer. If they get round scored here as well, it is just over instantly.
It is over absolutely instantly, as you're saying. It's 60% Ubercharge for Kondog, now 75. He's building it very quickly, and it is, I don't even think, is this a crit streak? Wait, I'm trying desperately.
Yeah, it is a crit streak here. It's not up yet, but any second it will be, and they kind of can't sit here anymore, just wait for them to push, because look at that, they're not doing it, they're not taking the bait. They know that if they fail this, they could still lose the game, so this is all on CSG hitting a nasty one here, and it's not happening. They're forcing them actually, but is that really going to do it at this point? Charlie's going to just die and going to make space here, but maybe there's still a chance. I mean, it's 1-for-1 trade, it's not great, but it's all you can ask for, really.
I mean, they trade 1-for-1. They're just going to have to take what they're given here. I think at this point, 1.5 minutes left, they have that social kill. They're just going to have to try and fight it, but Stickies are just above 1 here. Kondog has to be so careful. He can't even get through. The bomb out of Horns, though, does a lot of damage. Actually takes down Elikor, but the pipes come out. Now it's 2 dead once again for CSG. Both sides lacking a couple crucial members of their team, but Kondog has to surf a rocket forwards. The bomb comes in out of Demul and actually does find the kill to Kondog. Now Flick trying to do what he can, just stall them on second for as long as possible. It is under a minute now for the League of Shadows, and June has a lot of Ubercharge advantage here. CSG have to just push without Kondog in the first place. League of Shadows, they're back onto their own second. 40 seconds now.
Surely not, right? Any defense at all should win this for the League of Shadows here. They just need to not click disconnect on their HUD, and they should be fine. 30 seconds. If they have an Uber even as well, this is just everything against CSG League of Shadows.
They need a miracle of God. The soldiers are bombing in onto June. A lot of damage dealt, but the Ubers pop. No chances taken now. It's actually a lot of members flashed. Horns with some decent rockets. They have the high ground, but Kondog is taken down. The rockets do so much damage, but the cleanup is not there. I say that it's Fancy. He's found 2. Can he find a couple more? He cannot. GG fly out. And the League of Shadows, it's a lot closer than they probably would have liked, but they move along to the lower bracket final, placing at least 3rd in ETF2L. CSG, they gave us a little bit of a fight. They made Sunshine a lot harder and actually managed to take it as well. Took it all the way on process, but in the end, 2-1 for the League of Shadows. They take the series.
And what a game, just incredible performances all around, and League of Shadows makes it work without 2 of their mains as well, right? We have the double Frenchie swap here, I suppose, on their position. Still good players they got in by any means, of course, and they did really well here, Elikor and Demo respectively. So obviously a little bit annoying to have to resort to that in an important game like this, but it worked out in the end. CSG certainly threw them for a loop here with their playstyle, especially on map 2, but at the end, they were able to contain them just enough to make it work. That's going to be the map win for them on map 3, the match win for them overall. And they're waiting for the game later tonight to finish to know who's next in their path through losers bracket.
I want to give a quick shout out to CSG as well. They played really well, I think, in order to come back into that series. Big respect to them. I really hope they stay together. I think their plan is to stay together, to come to Copenhagen Games, give us some good stuff. I think there's a lot of potential to be had on this team as we move into season 44 after the new year. But there you go. Logs are on your screen. And as you can see, they are processed logs.
This is, in fact, the least kills per team we've seen in either of these maps.
Yep.
That's crazy.
CP process happened, and logs look like this. So, I think, Dum Tum, I don't want to stall too much longer, to be completely honest. I think we should go grab ourselves some dinner, because, guys, we're not done tonight.
Oh,
in
no,
about 2 hours at 21 CET, because all the Prem definitely will start on time.
And they really want to do it as well.
Yeah, they really want to start on time. I can tell, because Josh is in chat right now, and he's going to confirm that this will start on time, as we will have League of Shadows, not League of Shadows, TF2 Easy versus Witness Gaming in the upper bracket final. It will be Epley, it will be Bumfries taking care of you there.
And it will be 12 players who are at the top of their health, not sick or diseased.
Absolutely, no one is sick anymore. Everyone is healthy and fully in shape, in form, mentally and physically to play the upper bracket final. The rematch of the Arcadia LAN Grand Finals. We saw that went all the way, as far as it possibly could have done. As this time around, maybe it might be close, it might not be. We'll see. After a couple hours of break, we're going to go eat dinner. When we return, obviously, upper bracket final, Witness Gaming, TF2 Easy